Picture this, guys. It's 9 a.m. Your new client just signed, but instead of spending the next hour drowning in onboarding tasks, you're sipping coffee while your Make.com automation handles everything. Sounds too good to be true? Let me show you exactly how it works. So hey everyone, if you're running an agency or B2B business, you know how time-consuming client onboarding can be. Sending welcome emails, collecting information, setting up account, it all adds up. But what if I told you you could automate this entire process using Make.com? So today I'm going to show you exactly how to build an onboarding automation like this to automate your client without doing it manually. Alright guys, so before I jump into Make and build this out with you, I want to walk you through the logic behind onboarding a client. So the first thing we need to understand, there needs to be a trigger to start this onboarding flow, right? So usually this is a Stripe payment received, an email received by a client that they are on board, or a PandaDoc signed. So this will trigger our onboarding flow. Then we have, depending on the business, different actions happening. So these four are, I would say, the typical actions happening after a client gets onboarded in every business, and here are other depending on the business. In this video, we will focus only on the core. So the first one would be a thank you flow. We send them a thank you email and then with other onboarding materials. The next step would be we move them in our CRM to closed. Then we need to create a communication channel with them. Here we will use Slack, and also we create a Google Drive folder where all their information will be stored, like invoices, etc. So this is like the simplified flow. And then depending on the business, other steps could be implemented. For example, creating a project and a project management tool. If you run a SEO company, do keyword research, have an AI agent that does keyword research for you, or write the first outline of copy, or set up the domains if you are a web dev agency or a email outreach agency. And if you're an accountant, for example, set up QuickBooks account. So this is like the basic outline. But in under onboarding flows, before we can onboard a client, we need more additional information. So here we would have two flows. The first flow would be the payment is received, the PandaDoc is signed, etc. Then the thank you flow starts. We send them a thank you email, and then we send them the onboarding materials. Mostly there's a form in there, and they need to fill out the form before we can onboard them completely. So here's where the second flow comes into place. Here the trigger is the type form, for example, or the Google form. When the form is filled out, the real onboarding flow starts. So they fill out the form and then actions happen. We move them in the CRM to closed, we create a communication channel on Slack with them, we create a Google Drive folder, and then again, depending on the business, other steps could be implemented, like creating the project and the project management tool, etc. So today we're going to focus mainly on building the basic of this. A trigger happens, for example, the PandaDoc is signed, then we send them a thank you email automatically, send them our onboarding material automatically, and then create a Slack channel with them as a communication hub, and also move them in our CRM. Alright guys, now that we understand the logic behind onboarding a client and identified the steps we did manually before, let's build this out and Make and automate the whole process. So head over to Make.com, create an account, and then create a new scenario. The first step we need is the trigger. Here we will use PandaDoc. You can use whatever you want, if it's Stripe or whatever, and then this will trigger the automation. So pick the PandaDoc module, watch documents, and then create a webhook. So we name this webhook YouTube test. And we want to have all the payload so that it sends us all the data. And the trigger will be recipient completed. Save. And now this is set up. Alright. Next, we will do multiple steps. So that means we need a router module. We pick this one here. And the first flow we want to execute is sending a thank you email. And it would be weird if they sign a document and we send the thank you email immediately. That would seem automated. So what we will do, we add a sleep module. Sleep. And set it at 3 minutes. Okay. So super simple. Just put a sleep module there, and then the first step will happen. Alright guys, now we set up the thank you email. Basically, for subject, we want to say, hey, thank you, and then we search for the first name, and it's the recipient first name. Here we go. And we just map this, thank you. And content, I just copy over what I use here. Here we go. Just copy that over, and you can formulate your own thank you email. And then again, it's again the recipient's first name. All right. And the recipient, we use the recipient email. Here we go. All right. Then this will automatically send them a thank you email. Then we sleep this module again, where we say them, oh, we sent you over the onboarding material. And then again, we wait a few minutes so it seems more natural. Let's say 4 minutes. So this is in seconds. And then it waits 4 minutes before we send the onboarding material. So then we send an email again. So send an email. All right, then again, the recipient is the recipient email from the PandaDoc. There we go. Subject, I just copy this over from here, so you can formulate your own email. All right, then the first name. Recipient first name, there we go. And then content, again, I just use this one here. You can input whatever you want. So usually, I mean, depending on the business, right, it's an onboarding call and an onboarding material. And that's what I mentioned earlier, when we have this more two-step flow where you need to collect more information using a form, you would input the type form here basically. And the first flow is done. And then in the second flow, you build out what we will gonna build out in a second. All right. So here again, the first name. Hey, first name. There we go. And that's it. So the thank you flow is set up. Basically, it sends the thank you email and then the onboarding material. So the next step will be creating a communication channel. And here we will use Slack. So the first thing we need to do is, in order to when you create a Slack channel, everything needs to be lowercase. So we will name the Slack channel the client's name, x my name, and then company name, communication hub, and everything needs to be lowercase in order for Slack to create a channel. So we will set a variable where we lowercase the name. And this is the formula basically, lower and then first name. And then the recipient's first name. All right, so we set this variable. Now we can create a Slack channel. All right, create a channel. We do it like this, search for Slack and then create a channel. All right. So here the first name comes into place. So this is the client's name, first name, then my name, Ike, and remember it needs to be lowercase, Ike, Zenobia, and then we call this communication hub. All right. Okay, perfect. Then what we will do, we will set the topic of the channel. So the client understands better what this is for. Set topic of the channel. And we will map this. So we created this channel, and then here we use channel ID, and then topic. Again, I just copy this over. And recipient first name. Perfect. So it says, welcome to your communication channel. Next, we will invite them to this communication channel. So we will send them an email. Basically, what you're gonna do, here you see we sent them an email with an invitation. Basically, what you have to do, head over to Slack, and then there is like a predefined link where you can invite people to your channel. So this is this joinslack.com. And again, I just copy this text over. And we send an email. Subject is, again, here is our communication channel. All right, and then content is this. And the recipient, again, the recipient's email. So this one here. And the first name. All right. And now they get invited. And then what I also like to do is set a topic of the channel. So here we can define our availability, for example, or some basic rules they need to understand in communicating with us. And yeah, that's it basically. So that's this module here. Create a message. Basically, we send them a message in there and say, okay, we are available from this and that time. Again, we map the channel ID. And then here we can input the text. So I have this predefined message here. It's in HTML, so in order for it to be formatted right. And then it says like, we are available from this and that time. All right. That's it with setting up the communication channel. And all right, so the next step we're gonna automate is creating the place where we will store all the folders and documents regarding the client. So we will automatically create a folder in Google Drive. So basically search for Google Drive and then create a folder, then pick the location where everything should be stored. So we just pick this one here, perfect. And then the folder name, we can map this again. I'll just call it the recipient first and last name. And then / Ike Zenobia. All right. Okay, so basically that's it. You just create a folder and then you can store all the stuff there. You could also store the PandaDoc as a PDF there. Whatever you want, you can automate it afterwards. So then the next step would be setting up and changing the CRM status. So as there's a variety in different CRMs, I will not go into too deep detail here. I personally use ClickUp, and then I would get the task ID and change the status from proposal to closed. And yeah, so that's it basically, guys. So now you have a fully automated onboarding process. And again, depending on your business, there are other automation steps you could implement. So what I would encourage you to do is figure out what steps you do manually when onboarding a client and then automate the whole process. A lot of it can be automated, most of it can be automated. And yeah, have fun with this automation here. And I would say if you want the blueprint for this, just comment below and I send you a link to it and you can just download it. And there you have it, a complete client onboarding automation that saves you an hour per client. Just imagine how much time this will free up in your business. So if you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to follow the channel for more automation tips that will help you scale your business. I post new tutorials every week showing you how to automate different parts of your business. Drop a comment below if you have any questions about setting this up, and I reply to every comment. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.